Leah, do you wear scarves?
Hi
Hello.
everybody!
Hi.
Hello.
Hey,
Ahoy!
that's all working. Look at that.
Yay. Nah, I don't believe you.
I know.
Can
mean,
everybody see us and hear us? Yeah.
Apparently, we're going to all sound like Daleks at some point to someone, but that appears to just be a Twitch thing. So we'll see how we go.
Yeah.
But yes, welcome back. For our listeners and for our watchers, hi, welcome back. We had lots of adventures and lots of combat the last couple of rounds, last couple of sessions even. I mean, they were quite fast rounds, admittedly, but there you go. Very quick update. Everyone had been involved in a grand battle, and you have managed to kill Rufun, the smith, um, the armor to the trolls. And you nearly also all got burned alive because the remaining trolls came back and set fire to the camp. But little column A, little column B, and the success tales, and you ended up having fought them all off, splattered them down. Some people being hit somewhat harder than others on a repeated basis. You managed to traipse your way back, arrived back at the Amberhammer hold, more or less intact. We'll come to that in a minute. And before we go any further, quickly going to ask you to go around. I'll go by the order I've got on my Twitch screen. I'll ask you to introduce who you are, who you're playing, and this week's strange fact is going to be the favourite encounter that we've had so far.
I think you already asked
Yeah,
that.
we recently had that one.
Yeah, the favourite battle.
That's not necessarily the same thing.
There
Okay.
is that.
Yeah, true.
So we'll go. Oh, my screen has decided to die. Let's try that again. So yeah, your favourite encounter, set piece, scenario, whatever it is, doesn't have to be a battle. Hi, Leah.
Hi, I'm Leah. I am playing Valenia, the half-orc ranger. Oh my god, what the fuck? I'm really uncomfortable today. My body's just going, no. I'm playing Valenia, the half-orc ranger. What else? Favourite encounter? I think it's probably going to be the inverted commas haunted house.
Fantastic.
Mainly due to the tripping balls Kayluma.
Speaking of, hi Morgan.
Hi, I'm Morgan. I play Kalima, Tiefling Ferrocaller. Favourite encounter or set piece or whatever? Actually, I think Kalima at the sex club giving the cock socks. It just showed Kalima in all their glory.
That was funny as fuck.
Hi Bunny.
Hello, I'm Bunny. I am Lord Thorin Amberhammer, dwarf barbarian, himbo, co-parent of child. And I think my general favourite encounter things. It's a really silly little one, but it was meeting Eduardo, the shopkeeper, just before we got to the mountains for the clan, just because it was the funny banter and possibly mild flirting just for lols. So yeah, it was just funny because I thought no one's going to expect that from Thorin. So
Yeah. Lovely.
but, yeah.
Moon.
Hi, I'm Moon. I play Arwen, the halfling cleric. My favourite encounter has to be the giant robotic legs, just because of how absurd it was.
The Wrong Trousers lives on in all our memories.
Yes.
I've got to set that up on the sound. Well, if it wasn't for the fact that we're broadcasting, I'd definitely have that set up on a soundboard for somewhere.
Mm,
And Mother Mafia Gaming.
I'm playing Kerna, the Dragonborn sorcerer, and my favourite encounter to date has been there's been so many. Was probably da, da, da.
Don't remember that one.
No, I'm trying to think.
Never.
I did have it there. Oh, that was it. It was meeting Kakana because she's the love of my life.
No.
Aww.
I've just been put off my food.
And just to round it all off, I'm Tim, the perpetually in shadow DM, because daylight. Yeah, I pretty much run everything else and panic on a frequent basis because I have no idea where these idiots are going. Anyway, on that note, he says, moving on to the onto the correct screen, you might have noticed we've got a slightly different landing page. The library, amongst other things. Oh, and Rufin's crossed through. I did have a Urash crossed through, but as you were leaving, you did see signs that suggested that at least part of him had escaped or had been dragged away. So I haven't got an icon for a question mark, so we'll leave him uncrossed for now.
Can we call him the Sneezy Man? Because we'll go, because he goes, a Russian.
Oh,
Get out.
It's a good job we're not sat around like a large table, because it would just be like everybody slap Morgan.
Or someone launching a cushion at him, like, get out. Yeah.
Don't stop one of mine.
Anyway, you are back at the hold.
Oh, I
did
better
you
do
long
like
rest,
a...
by the way.
I was about to do like long rest thing, I forgot.
Yes, you are back. You are rested. You have slept. You are all in various places across the map, depending on where you had last been placed. So I think Kaluma's in the library. Valenia's in a spare room. The room you were looking out over the hills.
Right,
I think.
I'll put myself somewhat. Hello?
Yeah, I'll move myself somewhere when I think sort of
I'm gonna put
things.
myself in the inn for now. That'll do.
Give yourself up to the bar or something.
I'm
That's
keeping my one in the bar.
Yeah,
How the fuck can I not see Kalula? Oh, there they are.
yeah. Big wings and in that walled off area. There you go.
Oh, Leah, do you want to show people the updated Kalula after the classic?
Yes, if I can remember where I have.
It's
Oh,
on
wait.
Heroes. It should be.
mm,
There we go. It was on the title screen as well.
Yeah, yeah. It was on the landing page.
Yeah, it was on the landing page.
Oh, I need to replace the Kaluma token as well.
I have.
No, then the one on the
Along the bottom of the doodad.
Oh right. Okay.
Morgan, can you inbox it? Can you DM it to me? I can't find it. I'm having a moment. Oh no, there we go. Got it. Of course, they're all open in the wrong pages. Why wouldn't they?
Okay. So you have all collectively slept. Yeah, Kaluma's looking somewhat battered, bruised, ripped, torn, shredded, scorched, all of the above. The wings have taken on a slightly sooty edge. Her arms are still bearing
There's
scars from where their arms were nearly ripped off. So large sort of savage claw marks down the down the arms. Um, the rest of you are looking fairly perky and fresh, relatively speaking.
I noticed Kaluma's arms and go, "Do you want me to mend them?"
Cleveland kind of like flexes their some muscles and goes, "No, I'm fine."
Okay.
Yeah. Arwen's just gonna grumble into like just a pint of like whatever drink he got at the bar.
Mhm.
It's the fact that Arwen is now drinking.
We
Kaluma's
drove
just not-
Arwen to drink. Yay!
Kaluma's just gonna say, "I think it makes me look weathered."
What was that, Morgan?
Kaluma's gonna say it makes them look weathered.
Right. I finally managed to find it. There we go. There's the new Kaluma.
Yay.
I'm really proud of that hero punch.
That is
There
so
we go.
good.
They are looking more. They're looking more and more beat up every time we see them.
Yeah, doing well there, doing well. So what's changed? Well, you're only away for a couple of days, so nothing majorly has changed. Apparently, while you're away, Katya, that sorceress, has been dotting around doing more research, and also helped out with a minor problem. There's something of a deputation to Thorin. You're sort of just having a breakfast. Well, basically, the Caspian keykeeper and sort of the slightly sort of more senior people kind of do on the, can we have a quiet word, please?
Okay.
Um,
So maybe I do the whole work, put my food down, and just go like, right, where's private?
Okay. We have a new. Quite sure how to describe it. A guest, I think, is possibly the best way of describing it. That. Well, they haven't caused any trouble.
Okay.
But, and they well, we still don't know what these creatures are called, but that creature that Kaluma exploded,
Okay.
we found another one, and well, I guess Kerner's apprentice, for lack of a better word, approached it and didn't get eaten, and
Okay.
seems to think that it's intelligent or is trying to find something. So it's agreed to wear, I can't believe I'm saying this, it's agreed to wear a tea towel on its head to hide its eye. And we're keeping it locked in the cell, but it's helping research in the library. Well, we think that's what it's doing. And we're keeping guards posted at each time, but we only did that because, well, this apprentice seems to be in good standing at the moment, and it hasn't tried to eat anyone or explode anyone. But I mean, there seems to be a growing stack of things. I just thought it important to let you know, rather than you, I suppose, guess than any of your people walking in there, seeing it and killing it out of hand, or getting their heads exploded, or. But but it's so far it's been it hasn't been causing any trouble, and it's been going into its cell. But, um, but we'd like now to hand over the decisions on this to you as owner of the as lord of the lord of the hold, because we I mean, if you wanted to turn it out, kill it, get rid of it, that would be really, really nice because it's creepy as fuck. But yeah, and it's. Do you want to come see?
Leave it with me. I'll go and have a little chat with Katsu and just find out what's going on and stuff.
Okay, it's odd. Then I agree.
Leave it with me. It's fine. I will find out what's going on and why.
Yeah, the what's going on? It's a little bit strange. Let me just grab that, and then I can put it in. Okay. So they tell you that they've literally just I mean, this is what prompted. They've literally just transferred the creature to be in the library with Katya, and then they sort of kind of back away, I think, for lack of a better word. Let me just move those guards into position.
Where's the library again?
Where books are.
Over here.
Left-hand side of the map.
Yeah. So with that, I maybe finish up food and stuff, and then think like, right, I'll go and have a mosey.
Okay. Sure enough, get to the library. The door has been propped open. There are 2 guards present, and you see sort of Katya and this creature sort of engaged in like this kind of frenzied, almost game of charades, where it's as you put it, it's making noise out and sort of tapping at itself, and then sort of making sort of gestures in the air, and then sort of tapping its own head, and sort of an expansive movement with its hands, sort of like this, and sort of scratching a head, and then sort of picking a picture out of a book and pointing at something in its head, and then she moves on to something else, and then sort of tapping at that and shaking its head, and then something else, and sort of doing a bit of a. So it's it's a fairly it's a fairly slim volume that she's currently working her way through, and kind of looks at you and goes, "Hi." He's well, I'm not sure what he is, but I think he used to be a researcher, and he got turned by something that he calls the Eye of Khyber.
Okay.
Which from kind of, it's really odd. He kind of talked in my head. We sort of made eye contact, and I kind of let him talk, and just had this vision of him. And when I found him, there's kind of all sorts of rags and ribbons of stuff, but there's an image of him in a cave, and this enormous, great purple black crystal shaped like a globe, and then vision of his hands changing and stuff like that. So on the basis that we're sort of seeing all these kind of strange mutated trolls, and you've reported sort of things that look like multiple arms, and the creatures that are walking through walls and stuff like that, I thought maybe it was something related, but and he's agreed to wear a tea towel, so he can't melt anyone. But it's making it difficult to communicate with him. because it seems to be you to actually talk. You kind of got the link, link gazes, and
Okay.
I didn't fancy playing am I going to get a vision or my face melt? So we've agreed on the tea towel. Um,
Okay.
I mean, he seems gentle enough. He likes cups of tea. You sort of see sort of several stacks of sort of discarded sort of teacups at various places around the library and stuff. And he seems to understand library classifications. Admittedly, he tried to eat it a couple of times, but he's not all there. But doesn't seem violent as such.
Are you describing the creature or me?
Oh, definitely the creature. um, so yeah, I hope I did okay. I kind of we'd found all the kids was talking about seeing something moving around in the old village, so we did a bit. A couple of the other guards and some of the volunteers from the village went down to investigate and found a collapsed vault, an old vault, from like some of the old buildings that have been down at the base there, and I mean, this old vault, it looked like it had been used as a camp by people, and we sort of found various things with House Cannith sigils on and sort of branding, two sets of robes, and then this one sort of was kind of hiding in some rubble, and yeah, just
Did you say they were found again?
so in the old town,
Mm.
which is sort of down at the base of the stairs. There's some old there's sort of there's old bit. There used to be like a gatehouse and old other buildings down there. I mean, they, we're talking like before the last war types of stuff, and then just as we've kind of built the shanty town down there, we've kind of used bits of the ruins and kind of built lean-tos and stuff like that. But there was some old um this old staircase that was sort of semi-collapsed, and it had been boarded over, but we found that some of the boards had been kind of displaced, so went investigating, and yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. So anyway, it looks like they, from what I could work out, it looks like he and I have no idea what his friend's name was, his compatriot, whatever. That just doesn't happen. See, that's just not happening. But it looked like it was something to do with dragon shards, and deposits of. They've been sent looking for kyber shards, but also sort of fairly kind of deposits. It was sort of I suppose, a kind of prospecting expedition. That's as far as we've got, basically.
Okay. Fair enough. I guess it's going to just be keep at it, and little weird gremlin creature is your responsibility. Any funny business, and it will have to be dealt with.
Okay. Yep. That's entirely fair. Yep. That's
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Actually, kind of looks at it. I've no idea what he eats. We've just been giving him sandwiches, and they seem to be going down. So that seems to be working.
Sandwiches and cups of tea. I mean, that sounds fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he seems happy enough. I mean, I dread to think what he's been surviving. I've no idea how long he's been there. He just doesn't seem to have any concept of time. He appears to be real. I mean, he's slimy a bit, but not slimy. No, he's not actually. Well, yeah. Anyway,
To be fair, I've lived like in this hold for a big chunk of my life, and even I didn't know that extra library was there. So
yeah, I'm. Yeah, there's. There's there's something odd about that just doesn't. You see, I thought that library might meet up with the old ruins down the base, but it doesn't quite seem to fit inside the bits of the mountain that we got. So I I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with fairy realms coming through, or I don't know. There's something odd. It registers as there's something a bit uncanny going on there. The fact that no one knew it was there, and then suddenly it was there, and just as we start finding these creatures, yeah, and that there's answers in there to stuff that we're looking for.
At this point, I wouldn't even be surprised anymore.
But we'll keep on looking. No, put that down. And he sort of turns out he's picked up one of the candles and looks like he's snuffed it and looks like he's trying to eat the candle. Don't put that. Oh. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't miss those days of trying to sort of stop Odif putting things in his mouth that he shouldn't. But that's a whole story.
I, I, I'd love to hear it sometime. I guess whoever Odif is. Yeah. Okay. We did find. I found something. Well, I found it last night. It was downstairs, and it's sort of it's literally one of those things where a scrap apartment tucked inside something else under a book that was under a pile of other things, sort of thing. I only found it because I kind of tripped and might have knocked a few things over. But it mentions Winter Night, so I thought I'd keep it. Sort of brings it and hands it out, hands it to you,
Mm.
and it's literally just a couple of lines. It says, "Before the winter, there was the old night. Felled by love in a barren court, lover expelled, night contained, winter's mantle bestowed in punishment for all."
Right, can you just read it that again? Before winter.
Before the winter, there was the old night. Capitalized old and K as in not and a
Yeah.
night as night. Felled by love in a barren court,
Mm, mm,
lover expelled, night contained,
night contained.
yeah, winter's mantle bestowed in punishment for all. And if you're curious about that, it's on the blog as well as a lore drop. So you need to double check what's capitalized and what way. That'll be there for you as well.
Bestowed.
In punishment for all. Right, so while you're having that conversation, Valenia, what are you up to?
Sorry, just writing that down.
Mm.
Okay. What am I doing? Valenia, first of all, went and got some food in the bar, and then has actually gone back to that office. She seems to be spending a lot of time in that office at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a bit like a sort of reflective
Okay.
space that she's using.
Sure.
Basically, she's in there, right? If anybody that walks in will see her writing into a diary.
Okay.
And she's writing down all of her most recent stuff that's going on. What you do notice is she's got her jacket off and she's literally just wearing bandages around.
Mm-hmm.
And what you see from the last couple of fights is she is literally just scarred all over from all the damage she's taken recently, and nothing, not scabbed and there's marks and stuff, and she's just really she's not healing fast enough between fights. and she's really sort of taking in all the nature that's nearby and the effect that she's having on it and everything else. She's really sort of distracted by all these new energies that are around, like the Fey magic, like these new creatures that shouldn't even be in this area. She's just very much focused on trying to figure out what's going on, because it goes against everything that she knows.
Yeah, it was. At least where you are, you've got a view out of the window,
Yeah,
and you
but-
can see that the trees and the landscape are healthy, covered in snow, but healthy. That there was a vitality even through the winter that does not seem. It does not seem that the winter is able to quench it, and maybe that's something that you reflect on as well.
Growth for Valenia. So yeah, she's just taking the time just to sort of decompress and make sure everything, and go through everything that's happened recently.
Okay.
Instead of going from one fight to the next, she's actually taking time to just take in the information that she
Stop.
can. Yeah.
Stop and reflect. What about Kaluma?
Kaluma is going well. Kaluma has been on and off, like praying, doing the usual, basically sort of like praying to the sovereign host and Gelon to sort of like guide them in taking back this land, blah blah blah. But also, Kaluma's going to hunt down Arwen and give him a
Hug.
item wrapped in white tissue paper and held together by gold ribbon, and go up and go, Arwen, I do believe that it may be your birthday coming up soon. So I made you something. And with the neatly wrapped gift is a crudely rubbish birthday card. Because Kaluma may be able to knit, but they can't draw or do like gluey arts and crafts. It's got on the front, it's got a picture of it's got a drawing of Kaluma and Arwen with like all the symbols of the sovereign host sort of like above them. I think the symbols of the sovereign host are the only thing that's good about this card. And then inside the card it's got to Arwen, spelt wrong, AWRWEN. Happy birthday, that's spelled correctly. And then it's got Kaluma's name with a hoof print on it.
He's just gonna like look at the card and just thank you, and just kind of like put it on like on the table, just and give Kaluma just like a very awkward hug, especially like with his like height is mainly because I'm sure it's more like a awkward like waist hug. Like he's like trying to avoid like the tail, and he's just.
Here's an added thing, of course, that we've been kind of slightly glossing over, but with the height of Kaluma's horns, they're having to kind of be sort of semi-hunched over half the time. Certainly watching them go through doors is an exercise in keeping limber, I think is perhaps a good description. So they're probably sort of semi-crouched down over you as you reach up for the hug. So at least you haven't got that embarrassment. But
Yeah, that's true, but it's still probably going to be a very, very awkward, awkward hug.
Kaluma's going to point at the president. Open it.
And for those that don't know, the reason that Arwen has his birthday this week is what, Moon?
God damn it, you guys.
What is the reason?
Because it'll be mine in a few days.
Yeah.
Kaluma points at the president and goes, yeah, open it, I'm very proud.
He's gonna he's one of those people that will be like very carefully, like very very careful unwrapping, making sure he doesn't tear it. One of those people.
Inside is a set of mittens that are white and gold, like the wrapping paper. There is a matching hat, scarf, and leg warmers.
That's an image. I just imagine.
It's not the image I was worried I was going to have. So yeah.
I imagine it being like Starlight from The Boys all of a sudden. I don't know why.
There's a smaller thing that looks like one of the leg warmers that goes, and Kuma goes, that's a cover for your mace, so that when you're out and about, you can hold it without getting cold.
Oh,
-1 to attack
I think we have to sing Happy Birthday now, don't we?
Oh no!
so we do get in traditional.
Oh yeah, as badly as possible. Everyone, are you ready?
And here's where I'm gonna hide behind the fan.
Happy
birthday
Happy birthday to you and stuff.
Happy birthday
to
you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
May the sovereign host save me.
So I've been watching too much Harley Quinn recently, and Clayface is probably my favourite character.
Yeah, it's all white and gold, and Kim goes. Anyway, happy birthday, Owen. May the sovereign host bless your year to come.
And may the sovereign host bless yours. Thank you. And he's going to slip the mace one on the handle. He's not gonna. He's gonna put it on the mace.
Kaluma just sort of goes. Kaluma gives Arwen a bit of a really awkward pat on the head and goes. Anyway, I must go and eat because I'm hungry. See you later.
1, don't pat my head again. 2, you're sitting down at this table to eat. I need to talk to you about something.
Kaluma kind of sits down. He goes, yes, Arwen?
He's going to reach into his bag and pull out bandages. Arm.
I quite like these, they're cool.
Arm.
Kaluma just holds out their arms and goes, there you go.
And he's just gonna try and make sure sterilize it and just wrap it up to make sure that the injuries doesn't get bad. Because while he can't make it look better, he can at least make sure it doesn't get infected.
I've now got an image of Kaluma sat there pouting like a little petulant child, fine.
Oh, but yeah, make a medicine check. There you go.
Medicine.
I had that in my back pocket all month. Right, ready for this. This is why I said, when is your birthday?
That would be a 22 on the medicine check.
Oh, lovely, wonderful. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You do a fantastic job. You clean up some bits that sort of had resisted all attempts at healing up, and sort of tuck things back in, and sort of various ointments and agents that you think will sort of help reduce some of the itching and swelling, and sort of make it heal. Yeah, they're deeply devastating wounds, but he's not going to lose. They're not going to lose any function in their arms, and it's very much one of those. You're quietly pleased that you've done this. It's one of those. Oh, some of this was actually a lot worse than it looked. So yeah.
Remember to change those bandages once a week, Kaluma.
I will do. I will put a reminder in my knitting book.
I found mace handle covers. They are if you check the D&D.
What, mace handle covers?
Yeah. That's pretty much what I had in my end.
Kaluma has done. It's taken the the technical aspect of making their cocksogs just didn't put the balls or the tip on it.
So for those that are watching, I will put them on stream. Ta-da! To be fair, a frying pan is just a wider mace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Moon, I was going to get people to sing happy birthday to you today, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
It's my job as your older brother to embarrass you, you know this, right?
I did say this the other day, didn't I? Said you're going to get happy birthday sung to you.
I thought, and here I thought I could escape.
Because you went all brushy and everything when they did this for my birthday. I cried.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, Kerner, what are you up to?
I'm catching up with Faye and Kakada and Loris.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm probably going to spend some time in the library as well to catch up with Katja and find out what's going on.
Yeah. So you two get to meet the strangely future.
Yeah. I can see Katja struggling to work out what it is. Will I know what it is from my lengthy expeditions and knowledge and stuff, or will I need to do an Arcana check for that?
It's definitely the same as that creature that you only met a couple of days ago. So it was in the library that Kaluma exploded its head.
Yeah. Do I actually know what it is?
You didn't 2 days ago. So you not.
No.
But that's not to say you want to do some investigation to try and work out what it is. That's a.
Yeah, I'll do some investigating.
Don't make a roll them.
It's, you know, when Kalima meets this thing and realises that it's actually helping, that Kalima can knit it a hat to replace the tea towel.
Yeah, there's nothing to stop you from doing so. So you'll see Ferris of us sort of wafting our hands. There's a very insistent fly that for the last 18 hours has been deciding it's going to sort of buzz each of us repeatedly and sort of it's kind of working its way around. So it's obviously very, very friendly, but it's just like, fuck off.
18.
18. Okay. You find a reference to a type of creature. Let me just get the if I type correctly. Right, it is there are various different legends about these creatures, and about how they seem to be able to gather knowledge of people by looking into their eyes, and when encountered, typically sort of most people just sort of see this enormous baleful eye glaring out of the darkness, and how normally they're just content to kind of just to watch and wait and assess and things like that, and they tend not to be very violent, but when they do, that baleful eye can rot the flesh from people's bones. There are various legends about it, and they are that role. The legend you find is of a wizard who had devoted their life to unearthing arcane secrets and had been cursed. They retain little or no awareness of their former selves, and tend to skulk among the shadows, haunting places rich in magical knowledge. Drawn by half-remembered memories, impulses they don't quite understand, and basically just kind of drawn to sources of knowledge, but not quite understanding why, or being able to, certainly unable to articulate rock. They are, as a creature, notoriously kind of lurkers in kind of various magical places. The thought is that they believe there might be a method to reverse their condition, but it's kind of more like an obsessive tug on them rather than something that they consciously know. And there's no proof of anyone ever actually successfully reversing the curse or transformation. Yes, but they're referred to as a Nothic, Nothic.
Mhm. Nothic.
Nothic, Nothic.
Like gothic, but not.
That's right.
Yeah.
They don't wear any dark clothes, so they're not gothic. Nothic. Well, this one wears a tea towel, but you know.
Right. Okay.
Tim,
I
get
think they're a
out.
bit
Tim,
small.
get out.
I think they're also very small as well because they're not thick.
Oh yeah, definitely not dummy thick. Anyway.
It's strong.
Okay.
So the question now really is, what next? You've defeated Urash, and you've certainly smashed his fists, his army. You have you managed to kill the spirit troll that had killed Lord Bentane. A number of other mutated trolls were also present. You found these purple dragon shards embedded in them that you had retrieved.
Mm.
You've also got these various magic items and things that you've retrieved and haven't sort of identified yet. But you haven't found or identified yet where the other two troll brothers are, let alone the sisters of the Circle of Rot. They are still out there.
Yeah. I just, while I'm in the library having discovered this, because I've got some of the shards with me that we picked up,
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what the reaction is. I hold up one of the shards to the Nothic.
Nothing.
Nothic.
Doesn't think. They're nothing.
A Nothic to the Nothic and see what happens.
How
Out of curiosity.
Nothing.
are you going about this? Are you just walking up and just sort of whipping it out in front of him, or are you?
Now, Kurtner, we've spoken about whipping things out in public.
Show us your crystals, love. You know. I mean,
Just say, I've before.
Don't follow my example.
Don't want to. Yours are scary. So I go up to him and go, I think I know what you are. Yeah, you're called a Nothic.
Sorry, he did give us a name, Rakken, apparently. Rakken.
Okay.
I thought you had a fucking furball, Ethan.
Sorry, Racken. Catcher didn't tell us. I think it came into creation because of some shards. I might have some with me. I just want to see if they have an effect on you. I don't want to hurt you. I just want to see what happens. Like you, I'm a scholar of arcane things, so I'm really interested. So I kind of just take out.
Picked up a scroll, slumped into.
Stop licking the scrolls. Put it down. Which point?
It's like the girl in the car when you and Anthony went to Tesco.
Oh, yeah. I take out one of the things and kind of lift it and face it back to them.
Drops the scroll, leaps back,
Okay.
sort of literally runs to the end of the thing and just hides at the end of the
Okay, and I put it back away. And then slowly walk towards him and show that there's nothing in my hands and go, sorry, Rackham, I didn't want to scare you. Sorry. Tea? Want a cup of tea? Yeah. Can I have a tea? And I offer him a cup of tea as it comes through.
Lars comes over with a very long suffering sigh at this point. It's probably about midday by now.
Yeah.
Well, the guards basically bring the tea trolley round, you know. That
I give him a tea and I find some sandwiches at the bottom and offer sandwiches to boots.
But he picks up the tea very delicately with pinky finger express.
So mysterious, I love it.
Yeah, you're feeling better now. Cat is my friend, so I friend too. I get rid of shards. Shards are scary, I know. Shards are scary. Are you friends?
Reaches out this enormous, great, huge clawed hands. Actually, you know, about as big as your clawed hands, to be honest.
Yeah. I do want a fist bump.
It's kind of a weird sort of. It's like the fingers aren't sort of quite constructed in the same way. In terms of, it's almost like the muscles are attached slightly differently, and the bones
Yeah.
slightly different from what you're expecting a hand to do. So it's almost like sort of the finger bones start escalating from there. And it's also a really weird sort of.
Yeah, kind of a bit more like a dragon's claw kind of thing.
Oh, no, I wouldn't even go that far. But it's the sort of that the more you're spending time, the more you realise that whatever this curse is, it's almost like some of the tendons and ligaments are kind of swapped around onto other things. So he'll sort of bend an arm and sort of the finger will the hands start to close. It's like nothing is quite working correctly or connected quite.
Nothing is working.
Nothing's working. Yeah. So it really is making it very difficult to kind of read what you would expect as body language or expectations. So sort of when it sort of smiles, it sort of bends over, and you start to wonder whether it's sort of the muscles there are sort of actually connected to its back or something. It's sort of this constant sort of it's constantly sort of twitching and writhing, but then sort of it tending to sort of try and keep out of the light as well. But you're not quite sure if that's preference for shame or whether that's sort of it's burning or it is.
Do you want us to turn the lights down a bit?
Grabbed another book.
Do you know who the Winter's Knight is? Can you help us find him? We want to send him home, and so maybe we can help you get better as well.
He points at where you're holding the shards. Your chest or whatever.
Okay, I'll move them. I'll get rid of them. I promise. I promise. I just wanted to please.
Points at the shards.
Oh, the Winter's Knight is linked to the shards.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. Okay. Okay. So a 2 bang is a yes.
Which got the cat is
Yeah. Shards Winter's Knight. Oh, right, okay. The shards turn what I was into you. Turn me into you. Okay.
This is hilarious. Person, by the way.
Do you want me to get rid of the sharks?
Goes wandering over to goes wandering over into another aisle.
Okay. Thought I was making progress. I look at Kattinger. Thought I was making progress.
Make an insight check.
Oh, fuck off.
Do I get it within the... Do I get it with advantage because Katya's there?
Yeah, go on.
Yay. Insights. Yeah. Advantage. That can't have been with advantage. There we go.
Yeah,
24.
Right, it's you were onto something, and it certainly seemed to be both reacting to you saying that the shards have something to do with the Winter Night, and also something to do with its transformation.
Okay.
What it wasn't. When you sort of started talking about you transforming into it, that's where it kind of went, effectively, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
And didn't seem to be that bothered. Now but yeah, didn't seem to be that bothered that you had the shards. It didn't seem to have much interest either way.
But
And
he doesn't like it being
he's
out
not.
there.
He's not. Is not comfortable. As an experienced adventurer, you know that these type of shards are called Kyber shards. They are typically used for the enchantment and binding of spirits,
Okay.
and specifically elemental spirits, and are largely used for example, powering the airships of House Lyrindar, holding the elementals and sort of power those, and that sort of kind of industrial scale holding and binding of spirit.
Okay.
As opposed to, you've got the Sybaris shards, which are about sort of evocation. You have the sort of the more general Eberron shards, which each have got their own sort of advantages, and certainly if you have a quick look on, well, even if you have a look at D&D Beyond, or
Yeah.
you'll get more detail on it. If I type in Dragon Shard, I'll give you a quick. So very quickly, Eberron Dragon Shards are typically found in shallow soil, usually in geode-like shells, and they are mostly used as kind of a fuel. They can be ground up and used to fuel magic, as opposed to magic components, or used as focus. They're also used in the creation of magic items. So, for example, lightning rails and things use an ongoing expenditure of dragon shards as fuel to then fuel the enchantments binding the elementals held in the Kyber shards and things like that. So they're sort of sold. And there's a whole, one of the reasons that the Dragon Mark houses are so rich is that this is a major part of their trade, and certainly House Cannith, House Lyrindar, various others sort of have major sort of interest in finding new deposits all the time.
Okay. I'm going to shove that whistle off like Ted Glass.
Okay, so that's the various investigations there. So say the afternoon's potentially spent coming towards the end of the day, sort of a quiet day of reflection, of studying and things like that. Gathering back together for mealtime. Moon's disappeared.
Oh.
They're back.
I'm still here. Don't worry. My headphones are
They're
still in. I was just quickly just grabbing something.
That's all right. So towards the end of the day, as you've all been sort of quietly going back doing things to gather back together for the evening meal, things like that. What are you kind of sharing about yourselves, thoughts you want to update yourselves on? plans to make?
Well, I'm going to share the note that I was given earlier by Katya.
Yeah.
So I was just like, yeah, I gave me a thing earlier, so I may slide it onto the table for whoever wants to read.
Have a look at the interesting riddle.
Like, yeah, it's like even I was a bit like, wait, what? Because you know what I'm like. It's like, brain has no room for intelligent thoughts, only hitting things.
Hmm.
So I've been trying to ponder it all day, and I think I've given myself a headache.
Kalima is going to pick it up and go, oh, I do like riddles.
Do you
I'm
reckon
not-
the old night was the old winter's night? But didn't carry anything out because he was in love with the Queen?
It's possible.
And obviously they had to fight in an empty court. Hence why it's barren court, an empty court in front of the Queen. And the winter's night, and the night that Sladen meant that her lover was expelled because he was no more. And the night that then slayed the old knight was then tied to Maeve and was given the winter mantle in punishment for getting rid of her lover and was done out of vengeance.
DM poker face.
And everyone just looked at me as if, you got that from 4 lines of poetry.
And it's just me, just like, no, that's too complicated for my little pea brain.
Okay. Do we know anything about the old knight?
First time you heard the reference.
Is it worth trying to get Katya to do some research on the old knight?
You can certainly set that as a task.
Yeah. I think I'll set Katya a task to look at who the old knight is and see what we can find out, because we might find out who they fought. I also, talking of which, I found out a little bit. Katya's right, that creature is very intelligent. And the kyber crystals are linked to the winter's night somehow and their transformation. How, I don't know, but they are.
Well, you've been finding them embedded in the shards of the more powerful trolls, the ones that are really mutated. So the rot, the venom troll,
Yeah.
the frost troll, the really mutated ones with multiple arms and heads, things like that. So you've been finding that as anything that's been seriously mutated even more than usual for a troll have had these things embedded in their flesh, which implies
That they're linked to the winter's night army. That they're a mutation, that they're
who might be doing the mutation.
the hags woman. Hags, serpent witches of rot. Okay.
So just so you know, I've done a new update on Valenia's letters home.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody can see if we link it. So I've put it in. I put it in Discord in Twitch chat. So
I've asked. I'll look at Faye and see if she knows anything about it.
About
The witches of rot and how they're using the kyber crystals.
What's the question you're asking?
Just kind of that. Is this down the right track? Kind of, just general conversation. See if I get anything out of there.
I mean, I never met them, but it would make sense if they're building this army that, and they've got something that helps sort of fuel and, effectively these crystals are kind of binding the enchantments.
Hmm.
So it's making it that would make sense as to why they're implanting these, embedding stabbing these crystals into trolls, and it's some interaction of the troll flesh and whatever elemental spirits are summoned.
Hmm.
Presumably they've got some big source that they're getting these shards from. I suppose the question is how the circle got their hands on it, or where they found it, or who told them about it.
Hmm. Yeah, I was just my brain's
And I
just.
suppose if it's the Winter Knight, how the Winter's Knight found out about it. Because I can totally get the Winter's Knight sort of saying, "Here's a source of power, go use it to to
Hmm.
cause havoc." But as the saying goes, he's not local.
Yeah, but does that mean then, if he knows about them, that he's part of the one of the houses that uses them, so like Canif or somebody, or was part of those houses?
Well, you've got a member of one of the houses as one of his suspects.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, look at your list of suspects.
Yeah, we do. Canif.
Canth is what the Nothic was from.
Sorry, I'm just trying to find it.
It was about a month ago.
Mm-hmm. It might mean copy in my own book, and I don't have my other book with me. No, 7th of August. Oh no, I don't have my other book with me. Have you got the details there, Lenya?
I think it's in my other book. That's the problem.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in my other book, and I can't find my other book.
Okay. So there were the four candidates, the four potentials. You had obviously Lord Bentane. You had Morton Blackhand.
That's right. It wasn't how favourite.
He's the person you currently got as your favourite. Ulfgren Pitchblende.
Mm,
And Taliesin de Livendar,
That was
member of
that.
House Livendar.
yes.
Does the mean of
Yeah.
Yes.
like like Ezio Auditore de Firenze?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Ezio Auditore.
Same reason why Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means then potentially it's this Taliesin person.
Or
Is it?
yeah, I think at this point Valenia walks in. You watch as she tucks a sort of a leather-bound journal into her jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Valenia being Valenia, walks forward and she's. It could be that they all knew one another, or knew of one another.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe there was sort of notes passed down or passed around of where this was.
Or we could be completely being given the
Oh.
wrong information.
Bye, Joe.
See ya. I'm back.
Joe suffering localized earthquake.
I mean, we could be completely. This could be a complete, like, wild goose chase.
It
It
could.
wouldn't be us if it wasn't.
Is Arwen at the bar drinking?
Just thinking,
Yeah, probably still. Yeah.
No,
just thinking though, actually, but that would make sense. Because obviously, didn't Lord Bente disappear for a while? So maybe he was Maeve's lover and didn't tell anyone. And Taliesin basically wanted that, and that's how he ended up back here, and that's why they went for him to execute him, because they made to make sure he stayed out of the court. Because if he was still alive when the winters came, they knew Maeve would fight back, and that he knew his real name.
Are you trying to say that Lord Bensane Amberhammer, our current lord's dear belated father, was part of a love triangle with the current Winter's Knight and a woman?
This is the Amberhammer clan. That wouldn't be the sort of most dramatic thing that's ever happened.
I wouldn't necessarily say a love triangle, but yeah, if you want to put it that way.
Oh, you know, I love something.
Yeah.
Dodecahedron.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love rhombus. Yeah.
Or it could be a love dodecahedron.
It's better than a love rumba. Love me, love me.
Spin.
Slow.
In other words, my father could have been potentially part of some drama, which probably sounds like an average Tuesday with my clan.
My brain just filled that in as a robotic Hoover. I'm so sorry.
no, you're not sorry. In the
That took us a grand total of 90 minutes to derail completely.
Well,
you're not sorry.
Anyway, so you do remember also why? Can you remember why the Lewandar was noted in the books? Because he was looking at people who disappeared and things like that. Can you remember what they were noted as being in the area for?
Weren't they looking for something?
Were they raiders?
No.
No, that was all Bridge friends.
Right.
They were part of a house-led expedition looking for Dragonsard deposits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
They were very upset to find cupcakes deposits instead.
That would be some time fuckery. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I'm thinking more and more this Taliesin is the Winter's Knight.
What's the likelihood of the Fae blending them all into one bar Lord Bentane?
Otherwise, I mean, you could always have the Taliesin went to go and take the power for himself, but he could have been backstabbed.
Why does this feel like we're all drunk talking about this?
Yeah.
By this point in the evening, you probably are.
I'll just mention Arwen has switched over to his tank of sobriety.
Okay. Thank you.
Kalima doesn't drink.
Recently, or has he been drinking all afternoon?
He only had a few drinks in the morning, and then when he was dressing up Kalima's wounds, that's when he switched to his tank of sobriety.
Okay, fair enough.
Gosh.
So
Kalima wasn't getting patched up while Arwen was drunk.
He was not drunk. He's sensible.
Okay.
He's not Thorin.
Yeah.
Oi!
So you're unlikely to find sort of henna tattoos of dicks on your arms or anything, so you're fine.
Wait, I just thought.
Mm,
Does that mean henna is the original Sharpie?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kaluma's going to suggest that they go and have a look and see if the three suspects, aside from Benthane, were at any point entwined with each other.
Is that what they're calling it now?
Not in a sexy gay way.
You'll be pleased
But
to
in
know that the
a-
news has uncovered this thing that children call
Wait, so-
entwined.
Wait, so if it's not in a sexy gay way, is it in a disgusting gay way then?
They were just friends.
Roommates.
That's what we're calling it now, is it?
Yeah.
That's what the historians will probably call it. Oh wait,
Yeah.
you're researching histories.
Yeah. Oh wait.
Right. If there's something else we want to set Katya and Rockin off to do,
I mean, I was Katya's fucking study partner first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kaluma's going to go with Katya and basically just look up and see if any of the men, like, even if it was like fleeting, ever knew each other. Because I think it's very neat, the whole talisman thing. So I think that maybe he was going to collect the shards. But then he was backstabbed.
It's make an investigation roll for me, please.
Do I get it with advantage?
You've basically all said you're piling into the library to be doing this research, so
Well,
yeah,
look,
go for it.
me, Katya, and Ragnar.
Yeah.
Everyone else can fuck off. Investigation?
Uh huh.
Is that with advantage?
Yes.
Tim's determined to make us know what's going on.
Oh, fuck.
You'll find nothing.
meaning that probably
Just when
probably because you're drunk.
just when we think we're about to make a breakthrough, nothing.
Nah. I think I don't know how. It's probably going to go through all of us till we understand what's going on.
I'm gonna go. Oh, fuck it. Why can't I have my double kills?
At this point, Valeni is wandering off to bed.
yeah. I follow Valenia and I hear an ow, something's hit Kaluma through the research.
As we get closer, I go, Kerner, this isn't your room.
Yeah, maybe I do the whole, good idea, maybe sleep things.
And I'm like, oh, can you point me in the right direction, please?
So, and I'm like,
Somewhere
that's the
somewhere there's a
direction over there.
Somewhere there's the sound of a crying dwarf baby. It doesn't narrow it down.
There are several crying dwarf babies.
That's just because Foreign's taken his top off again.
Oi, shut up.
At least it's the top and nothing else.
Exactly.
Have you even met Racken yet?
I don't know. Have you?
Don't
Fuck
think
it.
so.
Kaluma's gonna go meet Racken.
Okay, yeah. So going into you've heard of, but you haven't met until now. So yeah.
Just be mindful that you might end up with exhaustion if you start moving tomorrow.
What?
Wait, what?
Nothing. I'm metagaming.
No. So as you're going into the research, then you are
Yeah.
introduced to.
Kaluma's gonna go. Katya, is this one okay?
Seems to be. Yeah, and basically, as long as you don't back him into a corner, and you're kind of generally kind to him, he sort of seems to respond.
Why has he got a tea towel on his head?
Well, looking him in the eye, it feels like sort of fingers running through my head, and I did it the once when such sort of as a kind of a leap of faith because, well, he wasn't melting anyone's face, but and that's how I kind of got this vision of the Kyber eye stuff. But because it's really, really unnerving, and also I didn't want to accidentally sort of have anyone else look him in the eye and sort of melt. If he was feeling threatened, that we sort of kind of agreed to put the tea towel over his head to hide the eye, sort of thing. Well, he can see through it, but it just kind of breaks the
What's his name?
Racken.
Hey, Raccoon. Is that tea towel comfortable?
Um, an emphatic sort of points to where his eye is and sort of
Would you like something a bit more comfortable?
that.
Kalima basically just opens up the big knitting bag and goes, that one, sir. That one, sir. Brings out a bright purple and orange bobble hat
Okay.
and goes, turn around, try that one.
Disappears down the sort of the end of the shelving. This tea towel that is by now looking a little bit grubby and sort of stained, and it's sort of very itchy. It's a really coarse cloth that gets flung with disdain down on the ground, and then there's sort of there's a slight ripping noise, and then it sort of reappears, and it's sort of the ripping noise from sort of some of the spikes sort of on its head have sort of kind of torn through the top of it a bit, and it's sort of kind of yanked it down, and it's sort of trying to sort of kind of pull the sort of most of the way over the enormous great eye, sort of this pull the bobble hat down. It's not full, but he's sort of walking around sort of like that, sort of mostly concerned, but looking sort of a little happier. But like I said, you've got this bobble here, and it's sort of slightly askew because there's a spike sort of in his head, sort of that kind of forced it slightly off. And
Kalima's going to walk over very slowly, holding up their hands, go, not anything, and slowly tug the rim down over the eye.
okay,
Just go, you look beautiful. That is the right size. Do you want me to custom make one so your spikes don't rip it? So it'd be a bit more comfortable. That hat, not comfortable. I can make better ones. Do you mind if I take some measurements and brings out a measuring tape?
have you seen the icon I've got for him on the map at the moment? Zoom in on it.
Right.
Oh yeah,
So in-
yeah,
Where is it?
in the library.
In the library, next to Katya.
Found it.
I don't know. No, I'm in a bedroom. That's Lauren. Sorry, Lauren.
Oi.
Oh god, big thing. Yeah.
Not-
Just gonna take out a measuring tape and go, can I take some measurements?
Sort of very. You think it's smiling? It's like, sort of in the sort of same way that a T-Rex doesn't really have the muscle arrangements to smile.
Kalima's
But-
gonna go, I'll show you, I'll prove it's not harmful, and Kalima's gonna wrap the measuring tape around their own head.
Okay,
And then do it around Katya's as well.
okay. Yeah, it sort of kind of looks sort of head tilted, but sort of that sort of okay.
And then, alright, so Kalima's gonna get out their little knitting book, bring up a fresh page and Raccoon hat measurements, and sort of start properly measuring.
Okay, I'm just very quickly on the map putting a generated portrait I did of the creature. I'm just going to expand him up a bit.
Aww.
There you are. That's what he looks like.
Aww.
They're not so
Killing the
cute.
dog.
They're not so cute in the monster manual.
No.
Yeah, so Kalima's gonna do some measurements, gonna and Kalima's going to make a specialised flap for his eye.
Phrases I didn't think I was going to hear today.
You're an eye
Okay.
flap.
Kalima's going, after taking the measurements and writing it all down, Kalima's going to dump all of their yarn on the floor and then point and go, pick colour.
Points at a yellow.
Kalima's going to pick up a yellow and go, another colour?
Points at a blue.
I hate you right now. That's just a yarn that broke last night. Kalima like looks at it and goes, you want a bubble?
I just
Okay.
love how this is just a conversation that's happening.
The things that happen in D&D you never expect in D&D.
Kalima's going to get out 2 knitting needles, sort of like put the skein onto the knitting needles, put them in their bag, and then gather up and then put the yarn in a separate bag.
The guards sort of recognise that and they go, okay, time for sleep, yes? And so they sort of start to
Kalima's going to say, do you want me to read to you
Oh no.
to fall asleep? You can get information.
Huh?
I'll bring a book about. I will bring a book on fantastic spells. It's basically a kid's book.
Okay.
And where to
About
find them?
yeah,
No,
fantastic
fantastic
spells.
spells. We wanted to cast them.
Yeah.
Fantastic spells and how to use them.
Okay.
And yes, basically it's a kid's book with just spells and sort of like a dumbed down like this does it.
Okay, so he turns to go. He's going to be escorted back towards the prison cell. Puts his hands out. And they put manacles on him. Sort of lead him out towards the cells. Part of the deal. And yeah, you can find him. I'll put him. Just scroll out a minute, and I will relocate him.
You want to relocate me as well, so I don't have to do the whole drag you through walls.
Yeah. Just
Oh,
let him.
look, I opened up one of the doors to where the bedrooms are.
Yay!
Just trying to find what.
Yeah, so Kalima sort of like brings up a seat outside his cell,
Yeah.
and with a. Is there like a candle or a lantern on the wall?
Yeah. There's
Okay.
ever burning lanterns. They're sort of fairly
Kalima's
ubiquitous.
just going to start reading to him.
Fair enough. I'm just trying to find where. Can't find where you are.
Kalima's adopted another.
Yeah, that's kind of the impression I've got here. Yeah, and yes,
But you guys didn't bring me home a fucking Yeti.
Look, we have been over this.
We could have adopted it before now.
I didn't know that they were this cute.
We have been over this.
No, you were. You spoke. You.
Technically, Thorin had the last say in all of this.
Yes, rule decree. We are not having fucking Yetis around here. No.
Before Kalima starts reading, Kalima's going to introduce themselves and sort of like tell him like their position within the party. Basically, sort of like talking just as you would any ordinary creature.
yeah, okay.
And then starts reading, and their voice kind of takes on like a sing-songy. It basically Kalima's making this an absolute performance.
Okay. Oh, there you are.
It's like kind of like a nursery rhyme, just not.
I'm sort of minded now of that. I've got the kind of the children's Dr. Seuss style Call of Cthulhu that I've got on my shelves.
My first, my first
Necrocomicon there.
Necrocomicon.
Or
Yeah.
Necrocomicon. Now there's an image.
Yeah. Close enough.
Or
There you go.
if you buy it in order to learn how to whip people, it's Necronomicon.
Oh, I
I
do have a book called. I do have a book called "Where's My Shoggoth."
I just
Um,
thought if it's a Necrocomicon, does that mean that you get anime dead instead of animate dead?
Oh,
Yeah.
God, yes.
Oh, I love that.
Do I need to roll anything for this?
Yeah, make a performance roll. Let's see how entertaining you are with it.
Can I get an advantage because I've got a prop?
No. But for those wondering, I do indeed have. There you go. The
I love that. That is brilliant.
This is calls to my inner little. Oh my good god, this is so cool!
Oh, God.
and then the other thing I have is, of course,
Necronomicon.
Is that the one that we?
Nom-nom-nom-nom-nom.
yes, yeah, that's the book that you bought me.
I don't know what it is about that word. It's just really hard to say.
Necronomicon.
Necro-
Necronomicon.
The Necrocomicon. The Necronocop. The
Yeah.
Necronomicon.
Necronomicon.
Oh, no.
So yeah, so
Necronomicon.
What's this? What's this? Is it Cthulhu? What's this? Cthulhu kicked in the nuts.
There's a completely different session now.
I am going to while I'm reading, I'm going to cut. Just trying to find something that I've got that won't hurt the creature.
Every time you do that, I think it's our little fuzzy thing for the flies.
That's terrifying. I've not got. Okay. I'm just as I'm reading and I go through, and if I've got the spell, I may sort of like make like a little spell effect with my hand with the spell I've got and bounce it between my fingers.
Okay, yeah, you can do that with
Like say like
prestidigitation
it's an
or
eldritch blast.
yeah.
So I bring up like little like fourth bits and so I bounce it along. You know, like with Jareth in Labyrinth when he plays with the balls.
Mm-hmm.
You want to sort of like maybe sort of think about what you're going to say, dear.
Do you want to try again, Morgan?
As opposed to his chocolate salty ones.
Yeah, so when he plays with his balls, that's what Kalima is doing. Not playing with devils, they don't have any. And not with Racken's balls, because I don't think they.
Do you want to grab a shovel whilst you're at it?
Do you want us to go and get the go down the local building site?
Morgan, do you need to be like? Do you need to be like this?
We're not monetized, are we? No. Right. Okay.
Oh my god.
Technically, we are.
Yeah, so Kalima is singing with his sort of sing-songy, doing like magical like effects with their hands, and just treating Racken like they would any other
Okay.
being that wants to learn.
And in the fullness of time, that big eye closes, curls up in his cell, sort of just in the straw that's been put down for him, and gentle snoring like the sawing of a log begins to echo through the cell.
Yeah, so I think also Kalima is going to doze off on the chair. Sort of like just dozing with the book open in their lap and
Okay.
head against the wall.
Okay. Yeah, and a guard probably comes and sort of kind of gently nudges you at some point, sort of when they realise all the sound has stopped. Yeah, just to come in and make certain you haven't melted or something, and sort of probably sort of points you gently in the direction eventually of your bedroom. Yeah.
But yes,
That's what
go
I
to
thought.
bed.
That's when I'm going to look at the guard and go. When Raccoon wakes up and just gonna hand the guard like some like little snacky bits. He's like basically just gonna hand him like a ration pack and just go make sure he.
Oh, yeah, okay. 48 with his eyes. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll give him some food. Okay.
And Kalima gives the guard a look and goes, "Make sure he eats that because he is a being like all of us and deserves to be treated as such."
Okay. Yeah, all right.
What's your name?
Karis.
Lovely name. Cool. Well, nice to meet you. Look after him and yeah. Oh, also brings out another ration pack and go, "Here's one for you."
Thanks. There's 2 packets of trail mix. Okay.
Kalima give the guard a hug and goes, and darts off.
If you want very confused, guys, in your wake.
This is when Kalima just starts like confusing all of the guards. And all the guards goes up to Thora and goes, "Can you tell the tiefling to stop?"
I can't tell them to do anything. They ignore me.
Shall we stop for a bio break there? We're 2 hours in.
Yes,
Sounds
please.
like a good
Okay.
idea.
A quick stop, make a cuppa, and then come back with you. Have hopefully coming up with some plan of action, and maybe to have another crack at things to try and get a better idea what's going on.
I like the fact we're 2 hours in, just about to have a bio break. I've still got my second cup of tea.
Yeah, a lot of lore dropping, but it's all in strange directions at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope Joe's writing it all down because I'm writing stuff down. And I'm going. None of this makes sense.
1, 2,
Leah,
3,
Hello.
you want to know what that is?
5,
Oh, is that ADHD?
Yes, darling.
2, 3.
I'll be honest, I was too much invested in the role playing and I forgot to take notes.
So that's good.
It's in about 5.5 pages.
I can't. I literally cannot take notes because my autism gets halfway through writing notes, and then it starts wandering. Once I tried to write notes for a D&D session, one of these, I ended up writing the lyrics of the Macarena out.
Shall I? Shall I?
I can't wait to read Arwen's notes. His in character notes.
Again, I sometimes get so invested with the role playing, I forget to take notes.
Probably along the lines of bloody tiefling, need more bandages. What the fuck is that?
Well, we can't make it any we can't make it any more racist than Baldur's Gate is. But so there you go.
Oh, Baldur's Gate is filled with
Like,
jeez.
I love the fact is I picked a drow, and the people that you come across first hate drow, and you're sat on the
Yeah.
It's literally
Yes.
like the whole like before they started changing stuff. There's so much. It's just like wow. Right, we'll be back soon, people. Go get yourself a cup of tea.
Good plan.
I need to-
Hey, Ginger! Thank you for the sub.
Hey!
Ooh.
That's
Back
key
soon.
numbers.
Right.
See you
I
soon.
am going to need to open up my window and get a bulk drink because my room is. I've got the yawns because of how warm the room
Yeah.
is.
Right,
I'm gonna
we
go
will see you
I'm gonna
soon.
finish this drive.
It's
Yeah, I've been ready for a bit.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Da, da, da.
Hello, you're back. A new day dawns. Most of you have even attempted to sleep. Yes, gathering back around as the sort of day starts, you'll start to hear the bustle of people, children running in the halls, people grumbling as, well, just for whatever reason, bodies aching, or that's how cold it is in some areas of the hold, or just generally sort of what the hell was that? Is that weird thing in the dungeon? Um,
and for a change, it's not me being weird.
yes.
I'm just imagining just Thorin in a cell and dungeon, just like, hi.
Is it Thorin now dressing as
Raccoon.
Mothman?
Yeah, well, sort of like we can't.
Gotta
It's
keep
like gotta keep up the tradition because we haven't got Cole around yet.
it.
So I've been running around the sort of like the hole just in his big costume with glowing eyes.
The guards are getting very sick of your shit, but
Yeah.
Say shit.
yeah, well they can, but it's you don't know. Oh, for fuck's sake, sir!
It's the
Nearly
whole
gave
just
me a
like
heart attack.
it's the whole I am Lord and Master, and if I want to dress like Mothman, then I'm going to do it.
The kids, however, love it. The kids are always sort of absolutely sort of clamoring for sort of if there's any particular kind of special move of sort of particular sort of flounce of the cloak or whatever, they sort of they sort of treat it as a bit of an open secret. They pretend not to know it's you, but every now and then someone will say, can you do the wiggle, or whatever. And in that respect, it's keeping up morale. It's cold. Food is starting to get a bit scarce. Um, and yeah, everyone's worried about everything that's going on. But actually, you acting the fool a bit and keeping the kids entertained, and Catch is doing the same as much the same as well in sort of downtime. She's sort of doing a lot of time sort of listening to the kids and telling stories and things like that. Though she tells you her reasoning for that is that in the same way that you found about the Auntie in the Fields from old stories, is that quite often the kids, their little oral traditions, sometimes are providing clues, and so part of that research for the old knights and things like that is kind of like sort of her thinking behind it. So,
Yeah,
but it does mean that she's actually quite well trusted by the kids.
yeah.
So, um, another day, no signs of disaster. I mean, that was a big hit to the trolls, so you've probably bought yourself a couple of days of things. But thinking about sort of just kind of gathering together what you've learned so far, just to sort of give it some context. You've heard reference to this Eye of Khyber, which sounds like the sort of thing that Taliesin de Lyrindar was looking for. You have confirmed that the Eberron shards that you have recovered are related to whatever it was that transformed Bracken. And more to the point, you can actually tell that they seem to have come from a common source. Sort of similar shapes, similar sort of size, if they come from the same kind of source.
Mm.
So that suggests that the Circle of Rot is using these crystals, using whatever the source of these crystals is, as part of their augmenting, changing, empowering
Okay.
members of their tribe into more and more grotesque and unusual shapes and sizes and powers and things like that. You have started to look for ties between the various four suspects in terms of what they were looking for, and you've had this this piece of doggerel rhyme that's kind of suggested something to do with the fairy court. say, actually kind of mulling all these things over at breakfast, sort of says, he sort of, I'm sort of having a bit of things, sort of thought of something last night, while kind of mulling it over. Um, she said it put me mind of, it's actually something I remember telling you when I first got here, that um, the Winter's Night, was a real story of what happens when mortal is overcome by story, becomes part of a story and part of thing, and how Phelanis, the realm of the Fae, is based around stories and kind of those repeating patterns and the things that go on. But part of that also was around what sometimes happens when fairies leave Thelanis and spend too long in our lands, where they become mortal, and how that kind of cuts both ways. And the story of um, that mention you've got of, was it the lover expelled,
Yeah.
makes me wonder between that and what I know, that the mortal um that was the the mortal who became the knight, was connected somehow to these lands.
Mhm.
Makes me wonder if that lover was not expelled into these lands as well. Um, in which case, that might be another path, and it might sort of give some sort of clue as to, I don't know, as to who he is, who he was, what's going on. So it just sort of came to me that it kind of was that full circle on what I was talking about with that. Um,
Does that timing then fit with my thought process around if we use the people we know that may be Lord Bentang was potentially the exalted lover, and the reason why the troll took him out was because they didn't want to risk being exposed because he knew his real name? Or is that clutching at straws?
honestly, I don't know. Honestly, don't know. It could be. It could be related to that. Um, but I wouldn't rule that out as as part of it. It would certainly be a, beyond beyond the fact that you were starting to fight back and becoming a rallying point.
Mm.
It would make sense as a motivation for them striking at that moment and at that point.
Mm.
Guess it depends on what they thought he was trying to do, why they went for him and not for you, because up until then he was, he'd been held by as you said, the mind flayers, and they'd
Mm.
sort of they'd made him their prisoner and transformed him, and your big fight was to sort of return him to health, at least for the sort of the time he had left. Um, but why they do that when they killed so many others out of hand? I mean, maybe it was just that thought of using him as leverage over your wife to be.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
Thorin, could you make a history check for me, please?
I can. I can't promise it'll be any good, but I can. No.
Oh well. Just for a minute. Just for a minute. You Let's just see what the actual result. Oh god, dear god. Yeah, okay. Just for a minute, you thought you had something, but you don't. Yeah, it's just sort of gone so quickly. It's one of those tip of the tongue sort of. No.
Something foreign. We have 2 points of contacts that we've never followed up with around this.
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth seeing if the auntie in the field knows anything? And B, maybe speaking to somebody from House Caniff around where's it gone? Around Taliesin Delinda.
Lewindar.
Lewindar. Around Delindar. Is it worse than somebody in?
It's the Lerendal.
Yeah. The DM's face at hearing the name is.
I think at this point, I'm happy to just go for any avenues of just anything that we can go for.
Okay. Okay. If you want to send a guard into town, or do you want me to get someone to go?
So send someone into which town?
Remember, we are
we
pretty
wanna go
much
find the
snowed
person
in.
who's got help. Yeah, do we want to have the conversation? Fuck me, that's big.
Oh,
That's what they.
Sorry, there's like a mozzie or something on our ceiling that's quite large.
yeah.
Send maybe Katya to the new town and see if
There's no one living in the new town. That's where all the refugees were before you brought them up into the.
sick brain.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, do we want to find where the person from House Caniff is and see if they know them?
You can try asking if there's anyone from House Caniff. There wasn't anyone that was specifically highlighted out, but you could do a bit of an investigation.
Yeah.
See if you can find someone.
Right. Investigation. $13.
Takes about a morning or so of running back and forth and asking people and sort of questioning back and forth, but you are eventually pointed to someone who was part of the teams who sort of come to sort of start building on the stuff like the stuff for the towers for Lewindar. And he's not of House Caniff, but he's an agent of them. And he's sort of kind of an artificer. He's not high, whatever, but he works for them. He was there to sort of help sort of build and maintain some of the lifting mechanisms and stuff when they were hoping to build the towers. So a bit of a journeyman, but yes, his name Melly. You find him. You find him working in the forge. He's helping your forge master, and he's when you get there, he's kind of he's tinkering with one of the air bellows to sort of oiling up one of the joints and just to get the air bellows working a little better. The heat is sort of wafting, literally sort of
Waft.
waves off, and you sort of come away from it a bit, and there's very sort of hammering and clanking going on.
Well, if you did it around Christmas time, it would be wafted in the air.
Get
Anyway.
out.
It's sort of feeling his hands off with the oily rag sort of thing.
Or you could say if it's around Halloween, it's off this.
Get out. Get out! Get out!
What this?
Okay, right. So Fraser comes over. I'm going to try and do it fast. Just go. Try to find some information out about Taliesin, the Lambra.
Delirindar!
Delirindar, thank you.
Joe, don't make them bogwash you.
Have I got the pronunciation?
You have, yes. Who? Is it not a name I'm familiar with?
Would you be able to find out if anyone in the House Caniff is aware?
I've got no way of communicating with anyone. I'm stuck here along with everyone else.
Okay.
If you need someone familiar with it, you want to get straight.
Right,
She's
I
out.
think you-
You're...
that's it, you're getting bogwashed.
Right, okay.
So I can drop a dead vole at your feet. There you go.
Okay.
He's a human for starters, so you wouldn't have known him. You know, you're going back sort of 300-400 years.
Okay.
But to answer your question there about whether there anywhere they could have got together, although you couldn't find anything, 3 out of the 4 individuals are from long-lived races, so it's possible that there was some sort of overlap or being known to each other. Or not. Could be coincidence.
Long live races, not long live raves, as I've just put.
Well, you can have a long-lived rave if you want.
Okay.
I'm gonna judge.
Is that what we're having in this D&D session? A long-lived rave?
Yeah.
Description. Valenia, what are you doing today? While Kern is running around trying to interrogate people.
Did you just get one bottle?
Monkey.
I've been dressed.
I would say I want to help with the investigations in the books and stuff, but not exactly. It's not exactly Valenia's
Strong suit.
expertise. Yeah. I think I'm gonna go. Oh, so I want to go out and do some hunting because of the lack of food, but that could be dangerous. That could be dangerous at the moment. Fuck it. I'm gonna do that.
Right,
I'm gonna do that.
Well,
Anyway.
so,
I'm worried about people eating.
yeah, as I say, it's
Alright,
never
what-
stopped you before things being dangerous.
What's Valenia doing?
Going hunting.
Can Klima come with you? Oh,
I suppose so.
I'm hearing a lot of funny noises now.
You can have 3 and you have the third. We've had 2 each.
Yeah, I think I'm
You
going.
know
I think I'm going to go out hunting, and if Kaluma wants to come along, they are more than welcome.
Okay. So Valenia and Kaluma going hunting.
There's one person great for stealth, Valenia, versus the person who is not good for stealth, with bright gold wings.
What,
Fine.
like
Fine.
Kailuma, who basically trips over their own feet and tail and wings at the same time.
Who stepped foot first into a barrel?
Shut up! Who wanted to crash land into my lap as a fucking werewolf? Right in the middle of like the village, surrounded by people who would potentially kill me because they thought it was funny.
Hey, I tried to do a superhero landing. It's not my fault that the dice didn't like me.
It was not so much you wanted to do that, it was just the fact you wanted to do it as a werewolf, knowing the situation. It was like, do you actually want me to die?
Listen, I just wanted to prove hashtag not all werewolves.
Hashtag I didn't want to get slaughtered, thank you very much.
Hashtag I had the situation in hand.
Whereabouts are you going to go hunting?
I'm not going to go far. I would say the forest that's sort of to the east of
Alright, so where
Okay.
have we been so far on the map?
west. West and north.
Ah, so where the purple trails are.
Uh-huh.
That was your route to the that you took to get to the old traders.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think sort of
Ugh.
just that one.
That's what neck of the woods. Okay, so a couple of miles away, not a problem. Okay, let's go for a nature check first, just to sort of
So that's
see if we can get the trail of anything. Yeah.
That would be a 24.
Fantastic.
Oh, thank God.
Kaluma's along for the ride.
Kaluma's doing the look squirrel.
No, you gotta do the proper sort of like the sort of like dog from Up. Squirrel!
Okay, you are able to find a fairly freshly used game trail, which sort of looks like looks like deer are currently using that. So could you make a, let's call it a survival roll to sort of see what your tracking's like?
Is that both of us or just
Again, both of you can take part in this.
Ooh. Survival.
It's a 22 from me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, get in there.
Okay, Kaluma doesn't break their own legs, sort of trying to sort of clamp over various things. Yeah, okay, you're able to find a fresh set of tracks. Not the deer that originally made the track, but you might find some boars. And you're able to track those successfully. Like I say, with that roll, you're able to bring down a couple of them. And yeah, that sort of they're in good condition. They are a bit larger than you would expect normally around this time of year, whatever. Whether that's just luck or whether there's something about the Fey realm making things more, bigger and more exaggerated.
Like a bloke on a date website.
Quite possibly. There's certainly the tusks are very large, very sharp. The bristles extra bristly. It's that sort of. They're almost more boar-like than boar, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you have successfully managed to bring a couple of down, and nothing particularly sort of weird or wonderful sort of interrupts you in the process. And that's sort of a good morning's sort of hunting expedition. Do you want to return home straight away, or sort of investigate a bit further? Yeah, because you hang them up to drain and.
Yeah, I think we're gonna sit around, have some trail mix, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whip out a flask of tea.
Yeah, should we after we've eaten, should we have a bit of an exploration and get our bearings of because we haven't been this way, so I would like to very much be able to tell people what we've seen back at the hole.
Is there any vantage points? That sounds really stupid. Saying
Well, yeah, I mean, you are sort of the forest starts kind of nestling up around sort of the hills. There's sort of the mountains, sort of just to the east of the hold itself.
Okay.
Yeah, you reckon you can probably between you find somewhere reasonably.
Okay. We'll look for a vantage point and see if we can see anything unusual from higher up. Yes,
You've got a
Kalima.
flying vantage point.
Yes, but I still like to survey the land to make sure nothing unusual's going on.
I could throw you up there.
How strong?
Have you
How
had-
strong are you, Kaluma?
Not very, but I'll give it a go.
Valenia is 190 pound of mostly muscle.
I'll give it a go.
Somewhere out there, Armin is face palming.
Like she might not. Like she. So Valenia might not be big for an orc, but she's big for a half orc.
Have you? Come on, let me try. Maybe this could be some, strength training for me. Because I could get. Yes. I mean, also, I have been doing knitting.
Valenia against her better judgment. Maybe it's the cold. Maybe it's the
Maybelline?
tiredness setting in. She goes, "Why not?"
How tall are you, Valenia?
6'2",
I'm
I
asking
think.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, Kalima's gonna come up and put their arms around roughly where your chest is, and go. Sorry, I don't mean to Copperfield. I'm not trying
You're
to.
literally gonna get a face full of boob.
No, I'm coming up from behind.
Right. Okay.
Isn't sounding any better, but go on.
Kalima's going to take hold of Valenia
Mm-hmm.
and start to fly up.
Make a strength check. We'll start with that. So, Valenia, you feel the strong beat of the wing, the sort of downrush of air, and you for a moment, your heels leave the ground, the balls of your feet leave the ground, your toes don't. And then back down to feet again.
No, I've got this. Kalima sort of like lets go, sort of does some stretches, does a, and then sort of like, does like the Hulkamania flex and goes, no, I've got this, and then goes to hold on and fly up again.
Have another go. You obviously you don't quite get the grip this time because literally you fly up, but Valenia just sort of stands. You lose the grip. You go, oh,
Kalima's going to come around the front
uh-huh.
and try and latch on that way, and then try it again.
I yeah, haven't. Right, okay. So yeah,
Is it going to be
Kaluma-
face full of boob?
yeah. So it comes down, face full of boob, and sort of a space shuttle sort of booster rocket. Starts to it gets you about 5 foot off the floor, and yeah, you're working it. You're about 5 foot up, and now what?
Kalima's just going to, just take Valenia as high as they can and go, what do you see? Sort of muffled in Valenia's boots.
It takes a little while. Wings flapping like no one's business. Head
In
sort
boob?
of compacted against your, let's look, beat around the bush here, breastplate. Flat nose, sort of, because it's not like unlike fantasy illustrations, it's not moulded. It is, properly flattened, sort of angular to deflect blows and things like that. So, so Kaluma's face is probably the nose is probably a little bit squished like that at the moment. and it takes about a minute or so of.
I did realise something. If Valenia looks down, they're just going to get impaled by Kaluma's horns.
This is why I suspect Kaluma has not been saying anything. Actually, we're going to have an incoming ad break.
Ad break. Yeah, it's not showing up on mine at the moment, but yeah.
And thank you, Max, for the
Yeah,
point.
I snoozed it.
Yeah, there we go.
And eventually, yes, sort of getting up. Sort of, it's that sort of. I think quite possibly there's several times when you are resisting the urge to just kind of just reach out and hold on to a tree just to be safe as you're slowly going up in between the branches of the trees and this that and the other, and quite possibly you do sort of bend a few out of the way. But yes, you are now currently looking out across the tops of the trees and trying not to think of how far off the ground you are if that grip fails. What are you looking for?
Really, anything out of the ordinary, but considering I've got a tiefling horns rested just below my jugular.
Kaluma's going to bring their face out of the Valenian things, or like rest like their chin, so that their horns are going to twink. Sorry about that. I forget them there sometimes.
It's just sort of like, I love you, senpai.
Well, make a perception check for me. Let's start with that.
Oh, God. I'm pretty sure I am terrified of falling at this moment.
Yeah, you're probably about 40 foot up. You know, behind.
Yeah, I'm terrified of falling.
Okay. You see a lot of snow-covered forest and hills and mountains. Yeah. I mean, hey, at least nothing's on fire. You know, you don't see any of the kind of smoke, but that's because the farms were all burned a few weeks ago. Nothing obvious. Nothing obvious.
Could Kaluma sort of reassure Valenia that she is fine? She can roll again.
What are you saying?
Valenia, do not worry. You will not fall. I may not have done this before, but I have faith in Gurlon, the sovereign host, and my own abilities as a flying thing with arms that I can hold you while doing the flying thing.
And then what are you doing? Are you descending, or are you flying elsewhere? Or?
That is not making things any better.
Do you see anything, Valenia?
Didn't see a thing. Just lots of trees.
Do you want to have a closer look?
The fixed smile on Valenia's face probably said it all.
At this point, she's grimacing, and even like her small tusks are just pointing out that little bit. She's like,
Kaluma's going to still flapping. Going to slowly rotate like their wings and start sort of pushing that way so that we can get a closer look.
So flying a little further out across the forest. Yeah. Okay. Do you want to make an athletics roll for me?
That's Arcana.
Definitely not Arcana. Okay. You're going to lose a bit of height, and because you're moving a little bit faster because you're losing height. You both take 2 points of bludgeoning damage. That's from various tree branches whipping you as you go through, and then you kind of recover and sort of get yourself back up above the tree level. There's various kind of whip-like welts from twigs, and you've probably got sort of bits of pine tree leaves sort of sticking out your hair. And
I'm gonna look up. Kaluma's gonna look up Valenia and go, "It's fine."
And you're now both liberally dusted with snow as well. That's been disordered off the trees as you've kind of literally flown through them.
Isn't this Valenia?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
You could feel Valenia's fingers digging in.
Do you want to make another perception roll?
Oh God. Oh, 19.
Maybe just the thought of the snow full in the face as trees kind of whipped past, has kind of focused you. Maybe it's woken you, or perhaps it's just sheer terror. One of the two. But you do spot a large figure ambling through the forest, generally in the direction of where you've left the boars. It looks like one of the it looks like one of the half ogres that you met previously.
Okay. Okay, go. Kalima, we need to get back. There's something heading towards our catches.
Would you like me to fly us?
How far off the ground are we?
About 40 foot.
I've got you, Valenia.
Is it D6 per 5 feet?
D6 per 10 feet.
And how far would you say we are from, apart from obviously up in the air?
Yeah. From where you were, you probably only made it about 60, 70 feet away.
Okay, right. Oh God.
Kalima's just gonna give their childlike smile and go, "We'll be fine. I believe in us." And then start flapping their wings.
Okay, athletics roll, please.
It's better than the last one.
Okay. You both descend to the floor. That you have successfully managed to do. You both take 6 points of assorted bludgeoning damage from tree branches and things, and you kind of fall the last sort of 15, 20 feet or so. Yeah, it's fine. So yeah, you can walk it off. It's fine. Everything's fine. But yes, you are back in the Greek, just as the large fur-covered, heavily armed, very, very muscular appearance of Ruther, who's one of Ruther Alice Spawn, one of the half ogre children, just ambling through the woods, sort of towards where you'd had your break and maybe a little fire to sort of heat the tea and whatever. And as you sort of both emerge, sort of covered in sort of plain leaves, snow, bits of branch sticking out of your equipment, sort of swings his enormous sort of shaggy head face towards you. You make your own jokes, sir?
I was wondering where you're going.
Okay. And grins through his own tusks and sort of battle-scarred network of various sort of disfigurements across his face, sort of with a kind of a greeting and a waves in particular to you, because he's the one who caught that Harangon
Yeah.
and gave you your daggers back. Yeah, it's not bad. Still got the daggers.
Yeah, I've decided to name them.
Okay.
Thoughts and prayers.
Lovely.
Lovely.
Lovely. Good, good.
Yeah, you've been rather busy since the last time we saw you. Yeah, yeah. How's the scar?
Scarf's lovely. I'm using it as a belt at the moment. He sort of lifts up the sort of the jerkin, and there's the scarf. It is indeed tied, holding his trousers up.
You just, yeah, you actually inspired me to do bigger bits of work. I'm actually working on a blanket, which I think would probably, I don't know, be a cloak for you. I think that would be really cool, a knitted cloak. Yes, how are you?
His face has started to take on that appearance that a lot of you are very familiar with people who encounter Kaluma when they're in full on gust mode, which is that sort of slightly sort of frozen, slightly appalled, sort of not quite sure how to react. Which on something that's as large as Ruthuk is quite impressive. Is that sort of yeah. Just I'm doing all right. We saw the fires, went and had a look round, me and my brothers, and found a couple of stragglers. So broke a few legs and sorted them out.
It's really cool. How do you break a leg? I've never done it.
Oh, I'd probably get told off for demonstrating it on you.
Yeah, please, no, don't demonstrate it on me. Karima's at this point is gonna like take off like their outer like jacket and go, my arms. They look. I've been through battles.
Those are good scars. Good scars. Yeah, you've strong fighters. A lot of you. Very impressed.
Do you think that I could be as great as you one day?
Might need to eat more.
Okay, because you're kind of like really cool. I would like when I run my first official temple, I will write songs and I will write books about you.
Valenia's just
Okay.
Valenia's just walked up. Is tying up to ready to carry these balls.
Valenia got balls, and we're gonna eat them. I think.
I could smell the blood. It was brought me in the area, but I'm glad I found you instead.
Well, yeah, I would if at some point when all of like the madness settles down, I would very much like to invite you to my temporary temple, and I could write. You could tell me your life story, and I could write it down, and then I could make songs, and you would be a hero as you are to me.
A hero? What? Never thought of myself like that.
Well, you protect lands, and you fight for people who you look over. Therefore, you are a hero.
Never thought of it like that.
Also, I have heard that heroes are really good at breaking legs.
Yeah. Legs are fun. Nice and crunchy.
What would like your name? What would you like your hero name to be?
Oh. Ruthek the Bold.
I actually have that in my head. Yes, I will write that down. And then you can come and we're at my temple's at the Hold. So you can always come, ask for Klima, and then I could just write your entire life story, and you'll be known all the way through this world.
That's cool. And I'll be able to tease my brothers because they won't have stories about them. That'll be brilliant.
They will be a footnote in the hero story of Rivok the Bold.
How do you fit all that on a foot? I mean, they're not that big.
We will find feet big enough.
Okay.
I'm ashamed that I laughed at that.
Or I could just write them really small so no one will see their name, so it's all about you.
They'd have to be nice feet.
I'll make sure to find the cutest feet I can. They can't be mine because I've got hooves and they're not.
Creepy Keith has invaded Eperon.
Yeah.
Sorry, so you want a hand with those?
Oi,
I'm not offering you my
Valenia.
hand. You want a hand carrying them?
No, I'd be okay. They're not exactly that heavy. Not the first time I carried a couple of boars to that we've just caught, and I think the guards might see you as see you as a threat as we approach.
Oh, that's not.
Sorry, what you can't see on camera here is there is a package with a single solitary donut in it, and they're trying to pass it to me, but it's just outside the arm's length of absolutely everybody. And
I mean, I can have it if you
It-
know.
it-
If it's
it was like
difficult for you.
it was like the world's weirdest Tetris game in reverse, mixed with least Jenga. I think is the other word to describe it.
Did you try throwing
We
the
Jenga.
donut?
Yeah.
Well, I think they didn't want to throw it at me while I was talking to you. So anyway, I now have it, and it's going down there in due course.
You know what happens when Maidments throw things?
I'm now wondering which Little Betty store. Anyway, no. Sorry. Goes, oh, well, okay. Oh, Mum wanted me to tell you something. What was it? What was it? Yeah. Urash is still alive, but the witch, the witches, no, not witches. They're not witches. They're not the troll witches. They're not happy with him, and neither of the brothers. So they're kind of remaking him. He's failed, so they're doing something to him. But she says they've left a whopping great trail. So move fast enough. You can probably that should take you to where they're doing it.
Do you have an idea of where he is? A lead?
It's hang on a minute. I think they were saying it's sort of northeast of those flooded ruins. Yeah, so out that way.
Quick question: would Valenia have a map on her?
Probably. You've been making maps
Yeah.
the whole time you've been up here and doing stuff. So yeah, you've almost certainly got your
Um,
various notes and enough to sort of do a quick update sort of thing.
okay,
Yeah.
I'll pull out a rolled up map and do you know where this is?
Oh,
I
well.
I don't know if half giant ogres can read maps or not.
Well, he kind of recognises the pictures as well. Where are we? Where we? And you point out,
Yeah,
presumably,
yeah.
roughly where you are, right? And flooded ruins. And you point out roughly where they are on the map, which is obviously there. Oh, right. Okay. So that's the hill. That's the trunk. The ravines. That way. I think old stuff. I think it's not that far, but I think it's around roughly where I'm pinging.
Okay.
Sorry, let me just go back. Right. So what I'll do is
I think
what I'll do.
I think there's caves or ravines or something that they go through.
Where do you ping him?
Someone's now put a big purple splods on the map.
Me. Valenia's just literally like got a berry or something. Just gone. Just
Yeah, squidged it on there. Yeah. And yeah. So because she says they've got an eye or something that they've got to show him to the eye. And what it reflects is what he'll become. Yeah, that's what it was. It was, yeah.
You just see
So,
the
sow him the eye, and what it reflects, he will become.
well, you just even though Valenia is not very green, you just watch all the green drain from her. She's like, you know what? Why don't you give us a hand back with these up to the entrance of the new town, and you can join us, and I've got some jerky. I just offer him some jerky.
Yeah, all right. I'll have some of that.
His hand's probably as big as the bag.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, sort of tucks one of the balls under his arm, sort of thing.
Back?
Yeah,
Would you consider us friends?
yeah. Mum says you're okay.
Does that mean
I like
that you'll
that.
come hang out with me?
Well, more of this jerky's nice. And, yeah, you're right. Not, yeah, all right. Yeah.
Cool, because I could read you stories and knit you things.
Okay. Don't know what it is, but okay.
That's what I did for the start.
Oh, I thought that was magic. Okay.
I mean, well, it does look like magic, but it's a lot of hard work, but it's worth it for my friends.
Because like, I thought it was like you had like you got like a wand and sort of by sort of you sort of chanting things and moving the wands in strange things you could make clothing appear. I thought it was magic.
Kaluma gets like 2 knitting.
Going knit one pearl, one knit one pearl. Yeah, God.
Kaluma gets Kaluma gets 2 knitting needles. I go, well, these aren't ones, but you're close enough. And I do say some things. If I mess it up, I say I just say fuck.
Yeah, Mum says that a lot. Yeah.
Valenia's already started walking.
Oh yeah, he's something like he's quite casually picked up this large ball and got it under his arm, stomping along, quite casually chatting away while you're doing this.
Are you?
Don't know. 40, 50, I don't know, 30, 20. I don't know. What's
But I'm 22.
cool?
Just wanted to know some things about you.
Oh,
But, you know,
Morgan,
I hit things, they fall down.
we can't adopt this one as well.
He's already adopted.
No, I'm not adopted.
so where were you born?
Oh, in mountains.
Okay. That would explain the...
Oh, Big Iron. Yeah. Mum says mountain air does us good.
Maybe I should try it. Maybe I'll get big and strong like you.
Yeah. Come run in the mountains. Yeah.
Would you teach me how to become big and strong like you?
Kind of peers you over as he's all ambling along, saying, "Oh, so feed you up a bit and get you carrying heavier things." Yeah. I mean, you could sort of practice carrying your mate like you were trying earlier, and then maybe that'll help bulk the muscles a bit.
I did nearly drop, but I made sure that we did a delicate emergency landing.
It looked very emergency. Yeah.
Was it delicate?
I don't know what that word means.
It means to do with grace.
Who's she?
No, grace is grace means to do. You go and hit things really hard.
Yeah, that's fun. That is.
Doing stuff with grace, finesse, and delicate means to do it the opposite, so do it gently.
What's the point of that then?
Well, because sometimes life's problems can't be resolved by hitting things. So
Why not?
What we do is diplomatically we go in gently.
Diplomatically. Diplomatic. I have no idea what it sounds complicated.
Diplomacy means that you do things with others' input.
Oh, what, like an orgy?
Fuck's sake.
One of those.
Oh, well, we'll
I'm
take
so
turns.
glad. I'm so glad that I managed to not spit my tea over my laptop at that moment.
You think in terms to do what?
Oh God,
Well-
there's someone you're trying to explain orgies to Kalima. Oh God.
You know, there's some nice ogresses up in the mountains.
I'm
So,
talking
some of them are very friendly.
dancing.
There's a lot of emotion involved, if you can call it that.
You must teach me how to do orgy.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that.
Oh no.
I'll get the buffs together. We'll sort that. No problem.
Yeah, orgies.
Hey Moon, hey Moon, I'm gonna steal yours. I regret everything.
I'm glad people are seeing my way of
Oh
thinking.
God!
Then you have orgies.
What was that?
You orgies.
The thing is, Valenia has. It's just like yes,
As yeah.
and it's just like
So, Lydia, could you teach me how to orgy?
Oh God.
If Rufus isn't available. How many people do you need to orgy?
Oh, it's a good team game. Many as you can get.
Valenia's just walking faster.
Yeah. Oh,
Valenia's just like nope. An orgy.
should I not be orgying?
Well, you only like that, as far as I'm concerned. But I'd say sort out the food and drink first, because you need to build your energy up, get big and strong.
Kalima, we
You can see the sort of the edge of Newtown just coming into view.
Valenia can't get there fast enough at this rate.
Rufus, if orgying is to do with motion, do I need to buy a special outfit?
Well, it helps, but it depends. Depends how comfy you are.
Would some loose trousers and a hoodie do?
Well, it depends if you're outdoors in the cold or you can do.
Right, okay. What's the best place to start orgying?
So are you comfy?
Is there anybody like on the outskirts of Newtown and stuff?
No.
God.
Actually, hang on and give you. There's a couple of guards. Sort of just doing a kind of sweep of the abandoned buildings, make certain stuff secured.
I'm just gonna let out a whistle and like, fancy giving a hand with this other ball?
Yeah, it's a fucking hell. He's big.
Teach me how to orgy.
Right. Okay.
To orgy.
Nah. No. Not especially not with him. No. Far too big.
I'm going to go. This is Roof at the Bold.
And they take the ball, and Ruth sort of with a big sort of half smile of he's not quite sure why Valenia has been walking off so quickly or when it does like that, and he's completely oblivious to that. Well, he is completely oblivious to what everyone else's reactions are. There's well, here's your ball. Eat, get big, strong, and yeah, sure.
I could be. Has anybody seen Arwen?
Up at the temple, I'd imagine,
I think I need a guard.
or in the bar.
I think I need to do. I think I need to confess just from that walk.
Well, like I said, find the trails from where you were fighting, because they'll leave trails. Because there hasn't been any snow a couple of days, so you're fine on that. So that should be a good, easy trail to follow. Takes you through ravines, so just watch for ambushes. But it won't be any of the fists. There's none of the fists left. The ones that are scattered, me and my buffers killed, or what's his name? The weird one. He took them, and they've taken them to the eye. But yeah, anyway, that's what Mum wanted me to pass on. And
I'll just be like,
Yeah.
if you, I'll just turn to the guards and just be like, if you see Ruffet running around, you know, he's friendly. He's a friendly one. You know, we've met him before. He's nice. He's definitely
Okay.
He's definitely not dead. If anything, he's definitely on our side, or at least
Okay.
at least against the Winter's Night.
Okay, because I'm sure that he's nicked cows and sheep off us before. I'm sure he's raided our flock. You know, he's a bit distinctive in him and his brothers.
Yeah, well,
When we are dancing, I'll tell him off.
Now they're looking even more confused. Okay, well, yeah, okay, well, hey, we haven't got much in the way of flocks anyway, so what the fuck? Yeah, okay, and they start sort of taking the transporting. They sort of basically get some sort of strip down some log poles, sort of attach them to the balls to those, and sort of start to makeshift sled to sort of get them up to the paths.
Um,
I said, what? Well, well, I'm off for shit then. Yeah. He starts to wander off. Starts to wander off into the forest.
I'm going to wander into the hold. I'll be right back. Won't be a moment. Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
wandering into the hold, but I am going to go AFK for a moment.
Yeah. No worries. I'll go see you back in a minute. So yeah, so the rest of you've been running around, sort of trying to find various bits and pieces out. Foreign and Arwen, in this great and wonderful time. What have you been doing with your morning?
I'm probably going to go off and see if I can talk to Auntie in the field. And basically, I relay pretty much what Faye said, and also what was in the cryptic poem note thing that Katya gave me. And it's like, any advice or anything you know that might help?
Right. What are you what are you relaying to her? What are you saying?
Oh,
You take the token in your hand, and you feel
yeah.
the iciness of it to turn towards.
Yeah, let me try and think. Trying to think how to word it now. Well, I mentioned about how Faye mentioned about how sort of like the Fae world can bleed into our world, and sort of like words.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
That gives me a gist of where you're going from with it. Okay.
Yeah. But basically,
Right.
that side of it that Faye was mentioning about things bleeding into our world, and yeah.
Yes.
Immortals becoming immortal and immortals becoming mortal.
Basically that. Yeah, I was trying. Well, my brain was trying to think of the words then.
Okay. Yes. Yes. I do miss the court. Strange how things come back to you, how things come round again. Well done with Urash. Well done with his spawn. His brothers will be gathering what they can. Irek will be after you. Irek the hunter, the assassin. He'll be the one waiting to strike when you're least expecting it. He's sort of a lot more of a loner. His younger brother, though, I think he's well under the the spell of the sisters. He's embraced the changes, the mutations, all the strangeness, and trolls eat everything, and that includes themselves. And Alurash has failed, so that will have broken that little trinity. He will, as far as they're concerned, be food to be ground up. If they can find a use for him, they will, but I think you'll find Dumish is more in the ascendant now. Irek may even go his own path. But the broken, the misshapen, the twisted, the ruined will be controlled through Doomish. I fear... No, I don't fear. I think the sisters do not value the brothers as much as the brothers value the sisters. That's their story. As for fairies leaving the wilds, coming to these lands, yes, I used to be in the Unseelie Court. We are the... I was of that court, the court that is made of the oath breakers and the rule breakers and the strong, the dark. And I loved the night. And he angered the Queen. And he played with mortals, drew a scheme together. And she imprisoned my love and gave his mantle to others. And I was ejected and made to come to this world. And that's why I would see the Winter's Light killed. Maybe then I can get my love back. But we'll see. So yes, you're right that fairies can become mortal. And I am found out as to why I am against the Winter's Light. Winter's Light killed the old Night. I mean, these things aren't permanent. These things can always become round, and maybe, just maybe, you and my other little pretties will be enough to see this usurper, this newcomer, gone. And maybe I can return. Maybe the Queen will take mercy on us. I'm not going to hold my breath because Maeve doesn't do that, but that's the story I tell myself.
Wow,
So-
okay, that was not the story I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that.
Is it?
Well, you've done enough to splinter the trolls. So a measure of truth as recompense and payment seems only fair.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's stuff to process.
Mm.
What would you know?
Oh, you're asking me.
No, you're not.
So wait, brain is just like.
Ask about that person whose name I can't say.
What talisman?
Yeah.
Ah, right, yeah. Oh, brain.
Talisman. Talisman.
Yeah.
Talisman. Yes, I remember it. Yes, he's one of the four. He found a crystal. He found a huge kyber crystal that was already glowing and sparkling with power when he found it. And he wanted to claim it. He wanted to bring it back for his house, but didn't have the means to do so. So he decided he would return with engineers and people with tools to retrieve that eye, as he called it. But he was captured by the Delkir. They took him down into the underworld and introduced him to a tadpole.
Introduced him to a what?
To a tadpole. And he became a mind flayer. And that is how the Circle came to know of the Eye. As their ally through the Delkir, who unearthed it, and were going to bring that portal to full life. But you stopped them. He might even still be out there somewhere.
Ah, okay.
So, yes, he's out there somewhere, I expect. The Mind Flayers are long-lived and devious, and what is known to one is known to all. They live lives both as individuals and as a great combined mind. So perhaps if you can find him. Or it may be an irrelevance. But he might at least be able to tell you where the eye is.
Well, there is always that, which would be helpful.
Well, if you have nothing else, I have to attend to my sons. I have work for them to do. In the meantime, they will have taken Urash's body with them to, well, do whatever they plan. But their path should be easy to follow. You haven't finished the job. The trolls need to go. At least you've got somewhere to start.
Definitely.
Happy hunting.
I wouldn't call it happy, but we will definitely be hunting.
Connection drops.
Yeah. And that's just me having that moment of just like brain processing everything, and it's just like my pea brain trying not to explode. To which I then suddenly go sort of like dashing off to the sort of like main pub dining area, because I know that's where everyone would probably be mostly congregated, going, guys, I think I found something out.
I'm just there smashing back couple of ales. Arwen's next to me, and I'm just like, I never want that conversation again.
I sort of like maybe come falling through the door almost, sort of yelling about finding things out.
And this is about when you sort of come back from what you've been doing in terms of your research. Okay, so a gathering back together. Meanwhile, Kaluma is
Probably still
also
at the
there,
gate.
or
Probably still at the gate.
probably still batting? Well, no, Rook's gone off to have a shit. Maybe you're waiting for him to come back. I don't know, but
Kalima has sort of like come back into the hold, bouncing as much as they can, just shouting, "I'm going to an orgy."
And that only stops me dead in my yelling about finding things out. Like, wait, what?
Um,
Does Cole know about this?
Morgan, can I just say, with your hair like that and the shirt that you're wearing, you look like the lead singer from Sum 41.
I need to give.
this is not the gender affirmation he was necessarily looking for.
Right.
I
See
feel-
what
I-
he looks like. He's actually quite hot. Singer of Sum 41, the book.
Yeah.
I think I'm thinking of the right person.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, yes, but right now, are you talking about when he was hot or when he was a mess?
When he was younger.
Oh,
He was
okay.
hot.
Okay, I accept that. I accept that. Okay, okay.
So anyway, yes, that's been a day.
So what was Arwen doing while we've been out and
Drinking probably, but
No, he actually was outside the hole, just like gathering herbs, berries, just trying to like do his bits. Mainly like trying to get some herbs that people can
Yep.
make into like salves and like use for like making healing potions and stuff like that. Just trying to replenish stocks
Yeah.
and helping
you-
out Wellington with those bits.
and you get help with that. There's a number of people within the hold who are also similarly good at sort of finding bits and pieces, and so you're probably at the head of a kind of a small foraging party, for lack of a better word, of various people. And occasionally they come up to you and sort of ask your opinion on sort of whether something's kind of ripe or seasoned or in season for use as an ingredient, or they'll point out sort of a selection of bits and pieces, or possibly even sort of swapping recipes with you and stuff like that. Absolutely building on kind of the relationship you've already got with vast number of people in the hold. It's that kind of building on that sort of that mix of leadership and reverence they've got for you as a spiritual caregiver and keeper.
is that the combination of a caretaker and a caregiver?
Yes, yeah, you are a caregiver. Yeah. And amongst all that, you've sort of got the kids running around, sort of along with their parents, sort of picking up and helping. Every now and then, you sort of find yourself removing sort of nice pebbles that have been put into the collection boxes. They're very nice. That's very cool. Where did you find that? Sort of thing, and just quietly putting that maybe in another bag that could be just kept to one side, so that the nice pebbles can be distributed to the kids or something for later.
I think what and remove problems from the bag.
Wow. Yeah, could you do a nature check for me, please? Just in terms of sort of some of the quality of stuff that you've been finding while you're doing it.
Yeah. I cannot. That's an 8.
Okay, so in this case, you are more being guided by their knowledge of what is local. Make a survival check as well.
Yeah. 11.
Okay, a little better. So you're able to sort of occasionally where there's sort of a bit of disagreement over whether or not something is poisonous or not, you can sort of go, oh, hang on a minute, no, not that. You're able to contribute. So quite apart from the leading people forth to go and do it, you are actually, although you're not entirely sure about some of the local variations, especially now it's all winter and sort of covered under bits and pieces, but you are contributing and part of that, and able to do it on that front. Sorry, Valenia, I've only just seen that whisper yes.
Okay. Would I be able to check a couple as we're going back and just see if there's any small game and that sort of thing?
Yeah, sure. Make a survival check.
Just do it sort of retroactively.
Yeah.
Retrospectively.
That too.
Oh, 33.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sort of little bases of kind of small sort of things that go squeak and sort of birds that have been caught in traps and things like that. Yeah, all sorts of little bits and pieces. You've probably got like a couple of sort of strings of them you've sort of got over your back while you're going. So a productive day all round for those. But what are your conclusions?
I missed the last bit, so I will. Hopefully, someone will send me that.
Okay. So as Thorin filters in on everything,
uh, if you just
I was-
if you just send it back to me later, if you just send some like picture of it later, I'll be able to.
Yeah, because I think I was
Yeah.
about to come. I was charging through the door. I was about to relay everything before Kaluma came in, going sort of like talking about going to orgies.
The thing is, like, that Kaluma legitimately believes that is a term for people group dancing.
Oh God.
So yeah. Anyway, blah. I'm just not going to even go there. So I maybe relay about the stuff, about the auntie in the field, about how she was in love with the old knight. He made the queen mad, got imprisoned. Winter's Night killed him. Yes, I'm doing highlights because my brain is just shutting off at the moment.
it's all right. I'm taking pictures of my notes and I'll put them into chat.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And also about Dujit getting turned into a mind flare, and how there may be a possibility that we can sort of like track him down and get info, but then again, maybe not.
Okay.
So we put in Discord or just in game chat?
Just put it in game chat or yeah, wherever.
Yeah, that's fine.
That way, everybody's got it.
Yeah.
Mm.
There is one last piece of information she's brought to the table by Katu and Rakun. They've been researching through the day while you've all been doing things, and they found another poem, which I will transcribe and stick with the blog later, but I'll read it out to you now. Poem is loosely the phrase here. For the aspects, as in the number 4, bound to obscure, a tale built for mortal ends and fairy woe. Old night bound to watch winter's night's rage and beat old night's love. Find the aspects, find their bones, ask their stories, refine the truths, discard the schemes and cut the threads, release old night in winter's place. Would you like me to read that again?
I'll
Yes.
copy it once it's been transcribed.
Sure. Okay.
I would like to repeat it, please.
Okay. For the aspects, bound to obscure, a tale built for mortal ends and fairy woe. Old night bound to watch winter's night's rage and beat old night's love. Find the aspects, find their bones, ask their stories, refine the truth, discard the schemes and cut the threads, release old night in winter's place.
Okay.
And they found that in the new library.
So that's the one we didn't know was there before.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What is quietly? And perhaps there at 6 o'clock, maybe that's a chance. That's a convenient stopping point. So you can stop and you can mull and you can wander, and then we'll come back. Not next week because I'm going to be away, so we'll go. But the week after, I
Okay.
think. And while I have you all now thinking and brains buzzing and you're all looking very confused, which is wonderful. It means you're all thinking. I shall hand control of your channel back to you, Leah.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. It's gonna be a weird week, I think. It's probably a good job we haven't got it next week because next Saturday is Southampton Pride as well. Which I think we said we were thinking of going to, didn't we, Moon?
Yeah. It depends if I have the money to be able to go up there.
Well, I'll because I get paid on the Friday. I'll pay for your train ticket and I'll buy you a birthday present while we're up there. How's that sound?
Oh, I feel
Yeah.
so
It's only like £5 on the train anyway. It's not expensive. Yes, thank you, everybody. Can we all say happy birthday to Moon again for this? Is it Tuesday? Isn't it your birthday?
Yes, it's on Tuesday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Okay.
And how old are you, Moon, this year?
23.
No!
Oh, bye.
I am the youngest here.
But no,
Yes.
but no less appreciated.
Absolutely.
So yes, thank you, everybody. We will be back. Thank you, Max. Max has said happy birthday to Moon.
Thank you, Matt.
On another thing, Moon is currently grinding for affiliate. So if you see their link below, click on it, give them a follow. We're trying to get them up to 50 followers, 50 subscribe, whatever it is. And yeah, we're just trying to get them to affiliate so they can enjoy streaming a bit more. They're a good little streamer. And what you stream at the moment, Baldur's Gate, isn't it?
Baldur's Gate right now. It has, let's just say it's kind of just taken up all of my brain space.
I have lost count. I have lost count how many times I have done up to the Goblin Temple now. We'll try and do some of that this week as well. Morgan, yeah, Morgan, yes.
Yes.
Join Baldur's Gate this week, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, good, right. So yeah, join us at some point this week. Is it what day is it you're going away, Tim?
Thursday.
Right, so Friday is going to be something different. It might even still be Destiny. I don't know yet.
Well, Morgan will still be here, so
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Yes, so thank you, everybody. I hope you have a awesome weekend. And still yeah, I'm gonna help Moon set that up over the coming days. So,
and thank you, Max, as well for thinking about it and trying to set. I'm good with technology, but when it comes to Twitch, I am an old man when it comes to Twitch.
yeah, I'm gonna help Moon set up all like the alerts and everything else this week, and show them how to do stuff. On the plus side, I did use OBS today for this because for some reason Streamlabs OBS doesn't have its own webcam forwarding for backstage. So it's just like, for fuck's sake. So I've had to use it, but I will be using Slobs for everything else because it doesn't crash games. So yes, we will be back probably next. Well, I will be back next week. I expect you'll be seeing some sort of Pride Aftermath on Saturday. Bunny, are you working Saturday?
Yes.
Right, okay, bugger. I was going to say, did you want to come as well?
Yeah, Saturdays is my work day, so yeah, can't do anything.
Sick day? Sick day? Yeah. Yeah, so we'll be back later in the week. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you to Tim for being an awesome DM. My brain is well and truly scrambled today after all of that. It was scrambled anyway beforehand, but even more so now. Thank you everybody for playing along today. You drive me mad as always. And good night, or good night, good up. Suppose it's good night. It's 6 o'clock.
Good evening.
Yeah. So take your meds, stay hydrated, get some sleep. And from all of us here, good night.
I know.
Bye.
Bye.